Hi, everyone. Welcome to another SOS podcast. Today, we are here with one of our collaborating organizations, um, the Clinical Research Justice League, and we're here with Mitchell, Marianne, and Addison. So let's get started. If you guys can each give us a little introduction about yourselves, and then we'll go into the organization. Thank you for being here, by the way.
I'll let these two start.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Hi, Marianne. Nice to meet you. I am the founder of Flynn Grow, and we help sites basically grow. All things finance, anything from budget negotiations to running your CTMS, justification letters, things like that. And somehow that spiraled into volunteering. So we launched this volunteer thing that we'll talk about. Also just started a collaborative network to help small sites, independent sites get trials and help with their onboarding their studies at site and things like that. And it's called So that's me.
Thanks, Marianne.
You're
Addison. I am the founder of Premier Clinical Marketing. I've been in marketing for about 15 years and the last few years here in clinical research. So I help small sites and clinical research organizations get their marketing programs started and all of the strategy aligned and launched. So I have a long time running in nonprofit. So being able to work with Clinical Research Justice League is really like a big calling. The warm fuzzy of why I do what I do, being able to help people and empower other people, especially in this industry, since it's so hard to get into. A lot of us fall into it. So it's nice to be able to provide some steps to get more people into the industry to help others. Mitch?
Love that. Thank you so much. All right, so co-founder, CEO of Diversa Trials. I'm also the head of site relations with a company called Wide Trial, which is an expanded access focused company. Speak, do podcasts. I'm all over the place. And I guess with the Justice League here, it's not new to many people, especially if you've been following SOS for a bit. I became known as Clinical Research Batman back in 2022. I'd like to say I'm not as arrogant to give myself that name. Other people did give me that name. Bree Burks from Vivo was involved in my origin story, and I took a meeting in a Batman mask with her, and it kind of blew up on LinkedIn. So I thought, well, I want to do something with it. And poetically, I saw myself as this like Batman character. He's the only superhero of the Justice League that doesn't actually have like superpowers. He's just a guy, and he assembled this team with Superman and Wonder Woman and all these other people who actually have super strength. So at the time, I found myself in industry being really, really passionate about issues of ethics in the industry, and then specifically focused on diversity, equity, inclusion, and research. So I saw these superpower voices like Danielle Mitchell, Black Women in Clinical Research, and Hadi Danawi, who's one of my co-founders, the Arab Board for Clinical Research. And I'm like, these people, like collectively, are these people who I want to have this united voice and to be part of some sort of Justice League. So I started this group, started this network, try to bring people to the table, and it's grown since then. Super excited to be on this podcast because, Dan, we did a live podcast at SOS, and I was looking forward to doing like a recap, and it kind of blended with a lot of what this next year was supposed to look like. Following SOS, I got COVID and stayed in Arizona for another week or so. But one of the follow-ups is also like, well, what do we want to do bigger next year, right? Go big, go bold. And I had this concept of, I'd love to do some more volunteer work in the communities that we have these conferences. How can we give back and create like a larger lasting impact instead of just having a conference come and blow through your city? That's where we're at kind of now. So the Justice League has grown substantially beyond a group. We're actually a nonprofit organization now. We're building out this massive network of volunteers to be able to help with conference-focused events, to help with sites, to help with sponsors, community, like engagement events, all kinds of activities. And we couldn't be more excited.
Wow, that's great to hear. It sounds like there's going to be so many things you guys are going to be able to do with these volunteers. And so specifically, I guess for sites, what is it that you guys are looking to do with these volunteers for sites?
Yeah, so we want to be able to make sure we can benefit both parties, right? So we want to make sure our volunteers actually get this opportunity to gain additional experience. So there's almost like two branches that I'll touch on. So those who maybe are looking for additional work or looking for experience in the field, they can volunteer with sites for doing community events, right? If you're going to be on like a fun run or a 5K and you have a booth set up, doing screenings, like general health screenings or anything kind of general recruitment related, from this ethical barrier that we're trying to make sure we don't want to make sure our volunteers aren't like abused or misused, when they should just be hired at that sense. So we don't want to create free labor per se. So we want to make sure we protect our volunteers, and kind of limit non-study specific stuff, but still kind of expose them to that general environment. Hopefully they can help our site organizations as well. There's also a site support aspect with the volunteers where we're looking into how we can help for like states of disaster almost, right? So with massive flooding throughout different regions, and there's major issues that impact, smaller to larger site networks or clinical research sites alone. Hopefully we can also have some experienced clinical research professionals who are volunteers that can go and help out because they understand the needs that those sites are going to have.
I would also add in, as far as like site responsibilities or things like that, it would not be patient related, but they could do things like administrative duties. That could be on site, that could be remote as well. And that from the reason why that I started getting into this was more my theory is no one's as hungry as people that need to put food on their table, right? And so I feel like a lot of times people aren't given opportunities based off of either what's on their CV or what they look like. So kind of like getting that volunteer and having this vetted volunteer program, we have that ability to kind of link people together that wouldn't otherwise get that opportunity. And so that's kind of what we're hoping to get out of that. And not just vetted volunteers, but also the people that work with us, the community, the sites, or the vendors that work with us. They also have to be adhering to some sort of, ethical guidelines, like Mitch had said, making sure that they are not having them do anything trial specific or patient related. And then I think, sorry. I was going to say,
okay, no, go ahead.
Yeah, there's one more thing. And then down the road, we were also thinking of something like kind of having, not necessarily, I guess we would call it chapters, or I don't know what we would call it, but hopefully down the road, having like, different regions that would have meetups, and it could be volunteer ran, and just getting that sense of community that wouldn't otherwise be able to be together because, let's face it, conferences are expensive. And so that was one of the things that we were hoping to get out of this.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what you guys are doing, because I think, and I can speak for myself as a site, I get a lot of people reach out and they want to volunteer, they want to do something. And at the small scale site level, we're doing something small, like as an internship. But I think there's a lot of interested sites. I've been on another part of another organization that there's a chat going on, and people are asking what sites are interested in taking on volunteers or interns, which ones are interested in starting something. So I think this is something that's needed in our industry. And so thank you for taking that on. I'm looking forward to seeing as it develops and grows.
I just wanted to throw one quick plug in to what Marianne had said in terms of being expensive conferences. In comparison, ours is almost free. Right?
Yes, yours is. Yours is totally affordable, actually. I'm very happy about that. And I tell people about it all the time.
Thank you.
And we also do like our meetup, the regional meetups that is is essential. It's very similar to what you guys are trying to do. It's just that it's different perspective, right? But that specific kind of thing is so needed, because building the community is what it really takes. That connection, that really close connection in the different areas and in the different regions with the different organizations, and getting to listen more when it's more intimate, it gives that opportunity for everybody to speak and be hear about it, right? With what you guys are doing is obviously amazing. It really connects with what the industry is currently needing, right? And we can definitely assist in many different ways. Like, for example, with the students from the academies, many of them are willing to volunteer, and the majority of are people that either just recently or are looking into breaking into the industry, so they pay for their own tuition and get the information. They get ready for to start working with sites, but so oftentimes, because sites don't advertise the new job opportunities or things like that, they don't get to connect with these organizations. So it's like that gray area is where you guys are filling in.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you touched on that too. So that those more regional aspects that like Marianne brought up, and those like micro events, if you will. I know that that's something you guys have been leaning more into lately and are considering expanding on. Love that. I worked at Icon like years ago, and like Icon as an organization had their own like micro communities. ACRP has their chapters, and they do micro like community kind of events. But I find it interesting because you still have to be like part of those really like specialized organizations or clubs or memberships. And we're hoping we can kind of help bridge that gap in these communities, so we don't have everybody still siloed in your own group or your own organization, and we can bring multiple organizations together and just kind of collect everybody from the communities for these little micro events.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ashley Margot for that one. But we just did our first micro event, regional meetup. No membership required. No, it's not paid. And even our yearly conference, SOS, I mean, Chris was saying it's the cheapest by far. And that's really just to cover costs. We may break even if we're lucky this year. But even that's not as inclusive as it can be. And really, because I'm only bringing one coordinator. I have 4. I'm only bringing one because we need some to stay at the site and work. So the paradigm of a conference in and of itself is not inclusive, even if you take out the fees. So having these regional meetups is a little bit better because people can come after work, people can come during the lunch break. It makes more sense, and that's really how progress gets started, I think, in the industry, is changing paradigms until the leaders have to follow suit and do it. And it is a deflationary force too. So maybe the money grab is over.
You know, your regional meetup was one of my volunteers went.
Who came out?
Julio.
To the San Diego.
Yeah.
I love
Julio. Yeah,
we actually the man.
Julio is also at the Julio is also at the CRC Academy, and is also part of Latinos in Clinical Research, a member of Latinos in Clinical Research. So I mean, Julio is everywhere.
Yeah. It's so interesting, like, because I got some volunteers. What happened was Nicole from CCRC, oh sorry, not CCRC, Cornerstone, but shout out to CCRC. She said, hey, you want some volunteers, and do you want to work with some? And so I said, yeah. And then I couldn't turn down anybody. And I was like, no, I don't look at CVs. I don't like interviews. Like, I just feel like, no, they make me it makes me nervous. I was always so nervous going to like tests and things like that. So I took on everybody, if I'm honest with you. And I have some volunteers that have been with me now since October, and we have like probably 5 now that got jobs. And so I'm just really, I'm happy about that. And that's like kind of like my hope out of this is building networks and communities and kind of just helping people that otherwise wouldn't get the help that they needed.
Yeah.
Wow, Marianne, that was so awesome. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and for those that are going to be watching this, what's the best way for sites or anybody else in the industry to reach out to you guys if they want to know more about what you're doing, they want to collaborate with you? Who do they contact?
Well, they've been contacting me. Stop doing that. Stop sending me messages. No. So we just put up our LinkedIn. Actually, it's been there, but now it's like live. And I have on there, if you actually go to the Clinical Research Justice League I'll put the link in here. There's a form on there that says sign up, and you could sign up there. So let me put that on there.
And we'll add that once we post this, we'll add that link as well. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then the website's still finished being developed and tailored, so we should have everything accessible here pretty soon.
Okay.
So they on the linking they can register to be volunteers, or how does that work?
Yeah. So on the LinkedIn, I just put that up today. Thanks to one of my volunteers, Rishmi. There it is. There's our LinkedIn page, and there's actually a part where it says sign up. And if you click sign up, it goes straight to our Microsoft form, which is what we have for now. So,
okay.
And you can even choose, for sure. Marianne did a great job setting it up. We have a bunch of different opportunities as well for like different roles. So you can either pick one area of expertise that you would really like to volunteer in, or you can pick a couple. And as opportunities arise, we can help place you with those. And we actually are even working through a training program. So we will have, more or less training to get people, stable and figuring out, or get people more comfortable with what it is that they're going to be doing, especially if it's a new area for them. So all of the kinks are getting worked out now, but thanks to Marianne, who officially launched all of our forms, and yeah, excited to see how this grows.
Great. And you all will be attending SOS, correct? We'll see.
Yes, we'll have some kind of volunteer fun thing going on. Thanks to y'all.
I'll bring the mask.
Yes, that was my next question. Will we be seeing Batman?
He will be there. He's gonna have to wear a mask the entire time. I'm disappointed he's not wearing one now.
Any psychics?
I mean, there's a couple that exist. We'll see who shows up.
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
Yeah, anybody could come dressed in any super powers or superhero powers, and I don't know, maybe we'll be giving away a prize if you are.
Well, I would have to.
I think Chris might be gorilla.
I can totally see Chris dressing up.
Wonder
Chris
Woman
might be a gorilla. There's I forgot why, but there's a reason behind it that we were talking about. So
you said Wonder Woman might be a gorilla?
No, Chris might come as a gorilla for at least one panel. I don't know.
Why are you giving things away, Addison?
I heard Wonder Woman and gorilla. I'm like, I don't know what was just said. Sorry.
Now Addison is on a panel, right? You just accepted, although it was my fault. A year ago, I should have added you to the panel. But you were saying a lot of sites don't do this when it comes to social media marketing. You want to just give a sneak peek of what you're talking about a little?
Yeah, for sure. So I think a lot of sites in clinical research, when they think of marketing, think primarily patient recruitment through social media ads. And I think there's a lot more that we can be done, that sites can be doing, that doesn't necessarily cost money like ads would. Obviously, there's paid marketing, and then there's more organic, where in clinical research, I think most people know this at this point, that it's a much longer acceptance. There are people who are into research and it's not going to be that hard to sell them, but then there are people who have no idea but might be affected by a certain condition that they haven't been able to find a resolution with. So there's an entire level of kind of education that needs to go around that, and just being present within your community, engaging with your community to help more of that grassroots approach be a name that people are more familiar with. So we'll kind of talk through some free or incredibly cheap ways that you could support your site to have a little bit more access to not only patient recruitment, but within your community as well. So people know who you are, they're willing to come to you in the future, and they trust you as a healthcare organization.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yes,
Yeah.
much needed presence
Yes.
from Addison on our panel.
Thanks, Dan.
So we're getting to the end of our podcast, but before we go, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
Oh, I have one thing. So I posted that I'm giving away an SOS ticket. So anybody who's watching, if they want, there's a raffle, and I think I'm gonna do it on Friday. I think that's what I wrote. Yeah, Friday.
Ah.
So if you comment why you want to attend, you can get a free ticket.
Perfect. Sounds
Looks like
good.
we've got a Mystique costume coming in.
Yeah.
Kelvin Peak,
Oh, okay.
shout out
Let's
to Kelvin.
go.
There we go. There we
Let's
go.
go, Mystique.
Probably
All
that
right,
when I see
Kelvin.
it, Kelvin.
I'm gonna hold you to
All
that
right.
too.
I'm excited.
Now it looks like we have to have prizes. We're committed.
We could get
Who's
like a little
Dark Phoenix?
trophy with a Batman on it. Well, we can't do
I'm-
Batman, but
I don't know, but it's already bad. I have to bring glow things and bedazzling every conference I go to now. So it's like I'm working every time.
always.
Well,
Yeah.
we're looking forward to that as well as having that at our conference. Just a few reminders. We'll be also doing ticket giveaways through SOS, so stay tuned. We'll be including a few more collaborating organizations. Don't forget the Omni Hotel discount rate for the rooms ends February 27th, so that's next week. And keep an eye out for the SOS app coming out soon. And that's it. Thank you
And
for
also
What's that,
Latinos in clinical research is gonna be donating some tickets.
Yes. So, yes.
And what was the hotel again, Judy? Just
The Omni Hotel. So don't forget SOS in Oklahoma
Omni.
City, March 13th through
Omni.
15th at the Omni Hotel.
Omni
we look forward
Hotel.
to seeing you there.
Omni. Oh, hi, Jyoti and
Omni.
Monica.
Everybody chant Omni.
Me.
Omni.
Or get an Airbnb. I'm just throwing it out there.
yeah,
Omni
Sleep in
Hotel
Chesapeake with an Airbnb.
there's a good amount of people getting Airbnbs, but Omni, it is.
Yeah.
I'm staying at the Omni, so I could drink. I don't have to drive. Responsible.
that
drinker
$500.
over here. Yeah,
Mhm.
Brad.
yeah.
The Oklahoma City's turned really cool. I used to go there as a kid. I'm from Texas, and
Ah.
there's a lot going on in Oklahoma City these days.
Hmm.
It's a good little spot.
Good.
That's what
Nice.
I've
Looking
heard.
forward to it. Yeah.
It's
I've
our
heard,
first. I think it's our first time for everybody
Yeah.
on the team.
Yes,
So yeah, we're very
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah.
and,
So
and
just-
somebody will win a golden ticket to Brad's Hightower Clinical office
Or like a
tour.
tour.
Brad's Hightower.
Oh. Does it come with a shirt though? Like
Comes with
Yeah.
many shirts.
okay.
Sure.
Before we go, Kelvin says he's wearing the Mystique costume. So,
Yeah, Mystique.
Well,
Then we
yeah.
need a Dark Phoenix. We have Dr. Hazen as Dark Phoenix. I gave her.
Now
that.
we have to have prizes. Yep.
All right, more to-do list for Ashley.
I'm all about having fun. I was trying to make Hightower energy drinks, but they're not gonna be able to be delivered in time. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I dropped the ball on that. Sorry, Mitch.
I wasn't throwing you under the bus, but
no, she's
Sorry,
under
next
all 16 wheels.
yeah.
Comes with a beard. Oh, we could do bedazzling and beards too. I'll get glitter and gems. I'll gem your beard out. Don't think I won't, Kelvin. Okay. Or
It'll look good,
sidetracking
Kelvin.
way too much.
Your beard
All right.
will go well with the Mystique costume. It'll look good.
Some blue rhinestones. Yeah.
I got him. So
All right.
bringing him.
Well,
All right.
Well, thanks
Nice talking to
everyone.
y'all.
any final thoughts?
Right.
Final
final
thoughts. Justice League, go check it out. I just followed on LinkedIn, and it's
Yeah.
for volunteers in clinical research. So I know there's probably a lot of people, unfortunately, that are going to be out of a job or already are with the layoffs and stuff. And
Yeah.
I personally think one way to get back in fastest is to volunteer, because
Mhm.
it's essentially a networking hack. and
Yeah.
helping others. You're going to help yourself too in the process. So go check out Clinical Research Justice League on their LinkedIn right now.
Awesome. Join the
Yeah.
600 plus that we already
Yeah.
Right.
Join
Do
the
that.
list. Even if you don't have a lot of experience, it could give you in the door, or if you want a new avenue to get into clinical research, either one works. So come check it
Yeah,
out.
and I intend to probably create one where sites and vendors where they could also add themselves onto the list as mentors, places where volunteers could apply to. So
Much
that's
needed.
that's
That is much
next.
needed.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
much needed. Thank you guys for doing
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
And thank you for coming on. See everybody at Save Our Sites in Oklahoma City. Chris, you can end it at the Omni.
Omni.
Omni.